Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Well, it took nearly 4 hours to play game one, but here in Pittsburgh tonight, we will have game two. The Tigers going for the sweep. It has turned into a chilly but clear night tonight in Pittsburgh. Game two featuring the Tigers and the Pirates. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pebble alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us. Game two of the doubleheader. Game one went about as well as you could expect for the offense. Tigers pass came up real big in game one, Rod, and they showed up.
You know, one of the things that we talked about before the first game is the fact that Nicholas Castellanos had really good numbers in his career against Pittsburgh, but some of the other Tigers hadn't done so well. We knew they were going to get lots of fastballs. They got lots of fastballs. They were up for that challenge, and they had a boatload of hits in the first game.
All right, I don't know where we start for the Tigers. They had a lot of big games, including Jeimer Candelario. 5 runs scored, his best game as a Tiger.
You know, I just love this guy's plate appearances when he's standing in that batter's box. Not only does he see a lot of pitches, but he's tough to strike out because he fouls off a lot of two-strike pitches. But he got into the act very early. That was a bad hop double right over the head of Bell, their first baseman. Then he had a few more hits in the game. He singled and he also homered, his 4th home run of the year. All 4 of those homers coming left-handed. But take a look at the last 9 games for Candelario, batting over 400 with lots of extra base damage.
All right, now Matt Boyd gets the call in game two. Hopefully a little bit better than Zim in game one, but Boyd, his first couple starts this year have been lights out.
Repeatable delivery. He's also quickened up his delivery, but he has that low 3/4 arm slot that he throws everything with, whether it be the fastball, whether it be the slider, or the changeup. We're going to show you all 3 of those. That would be that fastball upstairs. He's gotten a lot of swings and misses on it. Here's the slider. He's throwing it the back door to the right-handers. He's breaking it down into the right-handers, away from the left-handers as well. And that changeup has also been a very good pitch for Matthew Boyd. I just love the fact that he's matured this year. He's very confident. He's getting right-handers out. He's getting left-handers out because he's mixing in all of his pitches, and expect Chris Bosio to watch him very closely tonight.
All right, game two just minutes away. Tigers going for the sweep of the doubleheader, but right now back to the Coliseum Studios, John Keating. Game 2 in this doubleheader, Tigers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tigers won the opener, and tonight in Game 2, Jeff Glover and Associates Realtors presents Chad Kuhl of the Pirates.
And Chad Kuhl comes in with a 2-1 record. He has an earned run average at .457. He's got a fastball that he throws 63% of the time at about 94 to 95. He can get up to the mid to upper 90s as well. He's got a slider, a curveball, and a change, part of his 4-pitch mix.
All right, here's the starting lineup for the Tigers in Game 2, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Martin, Candelario, Castellanos. Mickey gets the night off. Goodrum at first, then Jones, Hicks, Machado, Iglesias, and Matt Boyd batting ninth. And doing the pitching. Here we go. Game 2 is underway, and it's a ball outside to Leonis Martin. They say 48 or 38 degrees. It feels like 38.
It feels like 38.
Here's a bunt that goes foul, and they count now 1 ball, 1 strike on Martin. Leonis, the center fielder, 2 out of 6 with a home run. In Game 1, he hit it to lead off the game, and Martin now 3 homers on the year, 9 driven in for the Tigers center fielder. 1-1 is fouled back, 1-2.
Martin has been swinging the bat very aggressively. It started on the homestand. He got a few hits on the homestand, not as many as some of the other Tigers, but he was barreling up of the baseball just about every single time he stepped into that batter's box. And he continued that in the first game of the doubleheader.
20 hits in Game 1, a season high for the Tigers, and that is rolled foul down the first base line.
It's a nice job by Chad Kuhl getting over to that ball. Looked like that ball was going to roll back into fair territory, so he hurried up to get over there and to make sure he picked it up while it was still in foul territory.
So the Tigers continue the struggles for the Pirates. The Buccos now have lost 5 consecutive games. Martin, Candelario, and Castellanos in the Tigers' first inning, going for the sweep of Clint Hurdle and the Pirates. There's a ball that missed inside, backed him out of there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tigers trying to return the favor to the Pirates, who swept the Tigers 3 straight to start the year back at Comerica. Gardy's got the gloves on. It is chilled down here at the ballpark. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and Martin is out of there. That's how we start Game 2.
Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh Pirates defensive alignment. You got Sean Rodriguez in left field. You've got Starling Marte in center. Jose Osuna is in right field. Third to first reads Freese, Mercer, Moroff, and Bell. And Diaz is the catcher.
Here is Candelario. Jamer drives one foul down the right field line. That baseball must look like a basketball to him now. Had a huge first game, scoring 5 runs, including a homer. Single, double as well, batting .292. He'll spray that one foul the other way, 0-2. Candelario 3 out of 6 in that first game. Tigers, with a win here in the nightcap, are back up to 500. They would be 11-11. See this quite a bit against Candy when he bats left-handed. They are shifting to the right side. Did he go? So Candelario is out. Didn't like that call, but he strikes out. And Kuhl has fanned a pair to start this ball game. He's going to bring up Nicholas Castellanos. Well, for as big a day as Jamer had in Game 1, Nick was 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs.
Yeah, Tigers 2, 3, and 4 had a monster Game 1. A lot of the guys had good games, but the 2, 3, and 4 guys really got off in the first game of the doubleheader. Cool already up to 96 here with that fastball. He can get all the way up to 98, 99 as well.
He was very good in his last start. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run against Colorado. That was a 10-2 win for the Pirates.
He's got a wipeout slider pretty much anytime he gets 2 strikes on you. That's the pitch that he's going to go to. Wow.
Man. 96. 2-1. Chad Kuhl out of Newark, Delaware, 25 years old. Low ball 3. So we saw Tyone in game 1, who was sitting 95, 96. Now you got Kuhl here in game 2, again in the mid-90s.
Just about every single pitcher that the Pittsburgh Pirates have on their roster, 95 and above, whether they be starters or whether they be guys pitching out of the bullpen. They like big arms.
Nick thought he had a walk there. It was strike 2 called on Castellanos. Foul back. The fastball at in his last start against Colorado topped out at 96 as well. So Kuhl already has hit that plateau here in the first inning on a very chilly night. And again, the 3-2. Struck him out swinging. Chad Kuhl comes out of the chute, strikes out the side. We'll go to the bottom of the first in game 2. For the Tigers, and he's presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Tigers going to need Matthew Boyd to stay out there for a while, but really that's been no problem for Matthew. He has no wins this year, but he's pitched outstanding baseball. The whip is well under 1. The earned run average sits at 1.40. He just hasn't gotten a whole lot of run support in his prior 3 starts.
Starting lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Rodriguez, Mercer, Marte in the top 3 spots. Bell, Freese, and Osuna, and Diaz, Moroff, and Kuhl in the bottom 3 in game 2. So quite a few changes for Clint Hurdle.
One thing about Sean Rodriguez in that leadoff spot, man, he does not get cheated. He swings early and he swings often.
Rodriguez did not start game 1. He appeared as a pinch hitter. Did not see game 1. The Tigers fell behind 6-3 early, came back to win it 13-10. Foul back out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Pirates leadoff man.
Tigers really swung the bats well in game 1. It started with Martin. He had a leadoff home run in the top half of the first inning, but huge days by Candelario, Cabrera, Nicholas, Jacoby Jones chipped in. McCann had a big day.
And Rodriguez did not like that call at all from Tim Timmons. He is punched out of there.
We've had 4 batters in this game, partner, and all 4 batters have struck out so far. Tigers defensive alignment lines up this way, the same way they lined up in the first game of the doubleheader in the outfield. The infield reads Jamer Candelario at third base, Iglesias at shortstop. Dixon Machado gets the start in the second game of the doubleheader. Nico Goodburn, he slides over to first base, and John Hicks, the catcher.
So here is Jordy Mercer knocked up to the 2 spot in the lineup after batting 8th in game 1, 236. 1 for 5 for the Pirates in the opener. And Pittsburgh didn't have that bad of a game offensively in the opener as well. 10 runs, 14 hits.
Yeah, usually you score 10 runs and you get 14 knocks. It's good for a W, but not today.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that'll miss the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike on Mercer. Fly ball, center field, not deep. And Martin hauls it in, and there are 2 gone.
You take a look at Boyd's splits this year, and really the left-handers and the right-handers not doing a whole lot of damage against him. He's given up 2 home runs, those both to right-handers. He's really shut down left-handed bats. That's why pretty much every last batter that he'll see today will be batting right-handed against Matthew.
Well, Boyd in his last start, 6 1/3, allowing only 2 hits. That's it. That's in there for a strike.
That's a nice little 2-seam fastball that tailed away from Marte. Not much of a shift on Marte. Machado kind of playing right behind that bag, but not as to the extreme that we see some of the other players shifted on these days.
Rolled foul, third base side. We're talking about lefties against Matt Boyd this year. There is no sense putting a lefty in the lineup. 0-56 versus Matthew this year. 1 for 18. 2-2 on Marte. Starling in the opener, 2 out of 5. Scored a couple of runs for the Pirates, who at one point built a 6-3 lead in the opener.
Tigers, from an offensive standpoint, continue to show the same kind of grit and that they've shown all season long, even if they do fall behind. And they usually string together some really good at-bats to get themselves back into the game.
Well, I mean, we felt the middle of this lineup was going to be able to score some runs. Well, they got production out of the bottom of the lineup in game 1 as well. McCann, Iglesias. Rolled foul again. Here is our pick the stick selections tonight. Here's where everybody is falling on this. It's Castellanos for Johnny Kane. Keats has Candy. Seymour with Jacoby Jones. I got Hicks.
It don't matter who you take these days. You've been getting 10 points a game.
Yeah, I'm a little roll right now.
Yeah.
You got Nico, huh?
Yeah, I took Nico. He punched out 4 times in that first game. I figure he ain't going to punch out in the second game.
Bounce back candidate. 1, 2, 3 inning. Let's go to the second. After the Tigers won the opener. And here come the Tigers now in the second. It'll be Niko Goodrum. He shows bunt and takes it back, ball one. Cabrera is sitting down game two. Of course, Vmart can't play because of the no DH in the National League Park. So Goodrum batting cleanup. Niko looks at the ball outside, 2-0.
That's just another thing for Clint Hurdle to think about as the game gets into the 6th and 7th inning, whether Miguel or Victor Martinez may come off the bench as pinch hitters. Cool throwing that ball hard tonight. Every last fastball, 95, 96, with movement.
He's gone down 3-0 though to Goodrum. And Niko looks at a strike, 3-1. Goodrum struck out 4 times in that first game and then banged a single to left field. And Niko takes ball 4 high, so the Tigers get their first runner. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Kroger. Visit Kroger.com for great deals, digital coupons, and more. Comerica Bank, raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And by Dodge, hurry into the Dodge Spring Sales event today. Here is Jacoby Jones. Cool struck out the side in the first. He swung Goodrum.
That's a high leg kick for Cool. And I know that Ramon Santiago now talking to Niko Goodrum in his ear, telling him that you can probably steal this base successfully if you'd like to, because that first delivery had to be 1-3, 1-4 by Chad Cool. High leg kick. Slide step that time.
Yeah, shortened it up.
Yeah, he mixed it up.
What is a good time for a runner to say, all right, I can go, I can get a bag on this guy?
1-3.
1-3.
1-3, 1-4, 1-5. Those are usually good times to steal a bag. Anything 1-2, 1-1 or under, it's a risk.
Goodrum draws the throw. Niko has 3 swipes this year. Jones in the opener, 2 out of 5 with an RBI.
A lot of times in this particular situation, 0-2, that right-handed batter gets a slider.
And down goes Jones.
That was a slider at 89 that backed up on Jacoby, stayed up in the strike zone. Cole was on one here tonight, partner. That's already his 4th strikeout. Hanging slider.
5 is his season high.
Oh, really?
I take it back. That was spring training. 7's his season high. That was against Cincinnati. And boy, they've struggled. There's a strike called.
And Niko Goodrum has a huge lead, but the one thing that Chad Cool is doing a nice job of, he is varying his times and when he delivers the ball to home plate. Sometimes it's a slide step. Sometimes it's the more conventional, kicking the leg up. And then sometimes he just holds the baseball.
Hicks drives one in the air to right field, playable. Osuna goes back and hauls it in. Runner tagging but holding. 2 away. By the way, the Tigers combined for 3 or more home runs in this game. Bring a copy of the Tiger Box to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fries in the process. Game 1 provided curly fries, right?
It did. It's the 2nd time this year.
Now Machado. Gardy was talking about Machado and his progress as a big league player, and he said the one thing we want Dixon to do now is shorten up with 2 strikes and use the entire field. Shoot that ball to right field. He's not a guy that has a whole lot of power, even though he'll get one every now and then. Runner goes. Here comes the throw down to second. It's going to be wide into center field. Goodrum, though, is going to try and get to third. Here's the throw to third base and the tag, and he's out.
He should not have challenged the arm of Sterling Marte.
Marte guns him down at third, and the Tigers are done here in the second.
Mistake after he got up when the ball was in center field. Starling Marte in center field has one of your better throwing arms of any center fielder, and he was able to get an assist there. So what he should have done there, being Goodrum, after he slid, when he didn't find the ball right away, he should have just stayed at second base.
You could see that little bit of a hesitation as he got up, realized where the ball was. By that time, you're right, it was too late.
When scouts grade out major league players' arms, they go from anywhere from 20 to 80. Marte has a 65 arm and 60 accuracy, because you can see that throw right on the money.
That ball darts low to Bell. Josh Bell batting cleanup again here in game two. .250 batting average, 1 out of 5. 2 RBIs in game one. Swing and a miss.
Josh Bell off to a little bit of a slow start in the power department, but he got off to a very slow start last year in his rookie campaign. And what did he finish, second or third in the rookie voting last year? He was in the top 3. I think he finished behind Bellinger.
It'll dive low, and the count now goes to 3-2 on Bell. Bouncing ball left side. It's going to get through. Base hit. First hit of the ball game for the Pirates. A leadoff single for Bell, just out of the reach of Candelario. To answer your question, he finished third.
He finished third.
Bellinger, DeYoung, and then Bell. All right, here's David Freese now. Freese was a pinch hitter in game one. Freese, the former St. Louis Cardinal, was the NLCS and World Series MVP back in 2011. Now the 1-0. Matthew Boyd has not given up a lot of hits so far this season. In fact, Boyd in his First handful of starts here has been awfully good in terms of limiting the damage and opportunities for other teams. 9 hits and 3 starts coming in.
Wow.
Man, that is really good. Swing and a miss.
Well, he's been able to mix all his pitches up. We talked about him in our open today. He's got that fastball, 2-seam most of the time. He's got the slider, and he also has the changeup. He throws all 3 of them from a low 3/4 arm slot, and he gets all 3 of those pitches to do different things. And he changes speeds on everything that he throws nowadays.
Pretty close, did not go.
Look how tight his slider is right now. Right? This is a new improved slider. That's a tighter slider by Matthew right there.
Soft line drive to left. That'll drop in. Base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Pirates here in the second. Here's the Bernstein advantage. It's going to be Matt Boyd. Lowest opponent's batting average. Here we go. Here's how this factors into the paltry amount of hits he's given up. A 138 batting average against. A little bit of trouble here in the second, though. Back-to-back hits, and Jose Osuna standing in. Osuna looks at a ball low. A little bit outside, run the count out of 1 ball and 1 strike on Osuna. 25-year-old out of Venezuela.
Partner, I noticed that every last one of those pitchers on that list with Matthew Boyd, they're all left-handed. Every last one of them.
Didn't notice that. I guess they are, aren't they? That ball hammered to center field. And Martin looks up on this ball, and it's going to go.
Ooh.
Osuna to dead center field. Takes Boyd deep, and the Pirates have a 3-0 lead.
Well, it looks like the ball is going to be flying here in game 2, just as it did in game 1.
First home run of the year for the 9-year minor league vet. Three-0 Pittsburgh.
And first couple of pitches were breaking balls. Then he went up top with a fastball, 2-seam fastball, and Osuna didn't miss it. As a matter of fact, he knew he hit it out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
Very seldom do guys hit the ball to center field, and they know that it's going to be a home run, but he started trotting as soon as he hit it.
And you could tell by the reaction of Martin in center field, he knew it was gone as well.
I've never seen the ball fly in this ballpark the way that it has in both of these games today.
.107 on the exit velocity of that home run by Osuna. Ground ball, shortstop side of the backhand. Iglesias, he's not going to have a play. Throws one in the dirt, scooped up there by Goodrum. It'll be a base hit.
That's 4 straight hits.
You know, you're mentioning the ball flying here, and you would think that it wouldn't because of the chilly, damp weather.
Yeah, I've never seen the ball fly like this in this yard.
Here is Max Moroff.
Well, no need for Matthew to panic here. Just simply make a quality pitch. You got to be thinking about throwing a ground ball right here to get you 2 for the price of 1.
Moroff was called up from their AAA team in Indianapolis on the 16th of this month. Here's a strike, 0-1.
Indianapolis has been a AAA facility. I mean, a AAA club for a long time. Affiliate.
He was batting .280 there with 5 RBIs in just 7 ball games.
You ever spend any time in Naptown?
I love Indianapolis.
Good city.
Yeah, I haven't seen any minor league baseball there, but other events.
Yeah, good city.
Great city, very underrated city.
It is.
0-2. Just got a piece to stay alive. So already the most runs allowed in a start by Matthew Boyd, courtesy of the 3-run homer by Jose Osuna. Boyd gave up just 2 hits in 6 1/3 in his last start, and no decision against the Orioles on the last homestand for the Tigers. There's the line drive to left center field. That ball is going to get down, base hit. And so the Pirates now open up this inning with 5 consecutive hits. Fans, see the Tigers take on the Rays Monday, April 30th through Wednesday, May 2nd. Enjoy great savings with the weekday value pack. 4 tickets, hot dogs, chips, and pops for as little as $18 per person. For tickets, go to tigers.com/value. Pitcher coming up now, Cool, who is more than likely up there to bunt. Tigers already with a quick mound visit in this game. Cool batting .093 this year. They are pinching at the corners as he shows bunt. Ooh, that ball came up, foul tipped at 0-1.
That's exactly what you want to do as a pitcher. You want to throw the fastball up in the strike zone. What you're hoping is that Cool will still try to bunt the elevated fastball, and he will bunt it up in the air, and the runners will not be able to advance.
He'll lay it down. It's going to get the job done. Hicks throws him out. Sacrifice for Cool. Second and third down with 1 away. And he'll turn things over to the top of the lineup. High fives for Cool as Sean Rodriguez digs in. See what the Tigers do with the infield in now. They're going to bring him in a couple of steps, not all the way in.
And this much we do know: if it's close to the plate, and Sean Rodriguez will be hacking.
Ball 1. Rodriguez struck out in the first inning, one of 2 punch-outs that Boyd had in that first. Pirates lead 3-0 on the Osuna home run.
And Boyd already up to 42 pitches, which means Ron Gardenhire is going to have to dip into that bullpen kind of early here tonight.
And they had to dig in deep in game 1 with Zim going just 3 innings. Big rip there, 2-1.
Matthew Boyd has thrown 43 pitches, and only 44% of those have been fastballs. And when you go up against a team like the Pirates, they will pick up the fact that you're using lots of off-speed pitches. So you have to continue to change your game plan from inning to inning to make sure that you do not get too predictable if you're Hicks or Matthew Boyd.
2-2.
Because here's a count that lately, pretty much all year, Matthew Boyd has been throwing either a slider or a changeup. So we'll see if he mixes it up here and maybe goes with a fastball. I know in the back of Rodriguez's mind, he's thinking breaking ball.
Swing and a miss.
And a dandy.
He got one. He is fanned twice.
Great location with this breaking pitch. 2-2 count, real nice arm speed. Did not slow the arm down at all. Nice deception in that pitch. But just like I was telling you, in a 2-2 count, that's pretty much what Matthew Boyd's been doing all year. And the opposing hitters, they start to understand some of that too.
Mercer looks at ball one. Matthew's strikeouts per 9 coming in were down this season, but so were the walks as well. His strikeouts per 9 heading into this year were about 7.5. He's about 2 fewer.
Which means he was pitching to a lot more contact. And most of that's been soft contact.
It really has. A lot of pop-ups, fly balls in spacious Comerica Park, and that has worked out well. Now the fly ball he gave up here left the ballpark tonight. A home run by Osuna. Meanwhile, Mercer has himself in a 2-0 count.
Here's where you don't give in to Mercer. And you're not going to be able to throw 3 fastballs by him and get him out. And so you don't worry about putting him on and go after the next guy with a fresh count.
Marte waiting on deck. Mercer 1 for 6 in the doubleheader now. Here's the 3-1. 3-2 on Mercer. These two teams wrap up the series tomorrow. It'll be day baseball here. 12:35 start from PNC Park.
Early start tomorrow.
It is.
Quick turnaround. Tigers will play 3 games in a span of 24 hours when we leave here tomorrow afternoon.
You know, we might as well just spend the night in the booth.
Might as well. Yeah, maybe not as chilly up here.
That's a good point. Well, let's just say the heat is not flowing here in the booth. This is the 8th man at bat in the inning. It's turned into a chilly night here in Pittsburgh, but it should be okay tomorrow.
Yeah, everybody all bundled up. So I don't feel so bad saying it's a little chilly. Can't wait for the calendar to turn to May, though.
I'm not sure that's going to make a difference.
No.
I hope it does. High fly ball. Shallow left field. Iglesias back, and it's going to be Jones coming in, and that will minimize the damage. 3 runs into the home run by Osuna. When we come back, the old skipper will join us. Jim Leland in the booth here in Pittsburgh. Top of the third here. The home run by Osuna is the difference in this ball game. And Chad Kuhl goes back to the mound. And we are always happy to welcome in the skipper, Jim Leland, who makes his home here in the Pittsburgh area. He has joined us in the booth. And Skip, I know you and I were talking during spring training. And the one thing we talked about was that perhaps people were underestimating this team. And that, yes, they might be a little bit better than people thought. And lo and behold, it's been a pretty good start to the year.
I don't think there's any question about it. I think we are better than people thought. And we got a nice little bit of a veteran mix with some young kids that Gardy's breaking in. He's doing a great job. And we are a better ball club than people think.
Dixon Machado leading it off, takes one in the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike on Machado.
You know, Jim, when you have a team like the Tigers have, and obviously they're rebuilding, rebooting, whichever name you want to use, and a lot of people out there are not giving them necessarily the respect that they may have earned some of the older players. Is it good for them to get off to this kind of start to really build some good momentum for the remainder of the year?
Yeah, I think so. And I really think they came into the season with a little chip on their shoulder. I think they got tired of hearing how bad they were going to be. And I think Gardy's motivated them very well in that manner. And I think they're taking advantage of this so far. I think they've surprised a few teams. And I think they're going to be okay.
You know, Jim, one of the things we've noticed is Miguel Cabrera appears to be back. He appears to be healthy. And we all know how big he was for you and your run with the Tigers as the skipper. But you know, this guy is certainly holding the key this year for this team, I think.
No question about it. You know, you're talking Victor, Castellanos, and Cabrera. If they do well, we're going to do much better than people think. They're the big guys. They got to help out. They got to carry some load. If they do that, we're going to be much better.
Machado rolls out, 1 gone here in the Tiger third.
Jim, how impressed have you been with the youngster, Jacoby Jones, and what he's been able to do so far the first 3 weeks of the season? He looks like a totally different player.
Well, he came with a different attitude, I think, this spring. Max shortened his swing up a little bit. You know, he hit the fastball at the ballpark the other day against Kansas City. That ball was in on him a little bit. He was quick and short and quick to it, hit it out of the ballpark. He did not hit that pitch last year. So Mac and him did a lot of mechanical work in spring training. It's paid off, and he's playing with confidence now. That's a big difference.
Yep.
Jose Iglesias stands in against Kuhl. We're chatting with the skipper, Jim Leland, who has joined us in the booth here this evening in Pittsburgh. And, you know, one of the other things, Skip, that we noticed is, I think the improvement as Iglesias bangs a base hit in the left field, taking a wide turn, but holding up. The improvement, I think, in, I guess chemistry could be a word, but the way that Ron Gardenhire came in, I think at the beginning of spring camp, Skip, really kind of showed that he was going to take control of this team and really has done a tremendous job so far in that respect.
He's done great. I know he would. He's a people person, and that's what this business is all about. It's about getting the best out of people and trying to figure out what makes each and every one of them tick. It's not the same for each guy. Gardy smelt that right away. You could tell in spring training he was in charge. They knew he was in charge. He comes in with some instant respect, and he's done a fantastic job up to this point.
I want to ask you a question about Chris Bosio. Jim, you've been a manager a long time. You've had a lot of really good coaches, but when he got the job with the Tigers, about 3 or 4 days into the job, he started calling players, making adjustments, telling guys you need to speed up, shortening and breaking ball with Fulmer. Is that unusual for a coach to come to a new team and then to try to input that much on them early?
Well, I think maybe to the extent that he did, yes, just a little bit. But I think it was obviously a good move on his part. It also breaks the ice. Once again, the people business. He was just trying to break the ice with the pitchers, get to know them a little bit, let them know that he cared about them, let them know some things he saw in their deliveries. Just, you know, just to get something started prior to spring training. Excellent move.
Matt Boyd trying to sacrifice the runner up. He'll let it go by for ball 2 outside.
How difficult is it going to be for Ron Gardenhire to keep the Rule 5 drafted player Victor Reyes sharp and Nico Goodrum sharp and some of the other guys on the roster that haven't been in the big leagues that long? That's going to be one of his toughest jobs, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. But I think Gardy's handled it well so far. You know, Goodrum's played both games tonight. He's playing first base his second game. You know, Reyes hasn't got as much, but I think they understand that. We think Reyes has a chance to be a player. We're just trying to get him through this season, because we think he really has a future, and he's a good-looking young player. And Gardy will get him some time, you know, pinch run a little bit, get a game now and then, pinch hit a little bit, do the best he can. But you got to remember, Gardy's trying to win games as well.
Right.
2-2 on Matt Boyd here, again showing bunt, and he'll bunt it foul for strike 3. You know, Jim, I was looking at the standings coming in. Really the only team in the Central Division above 500, the Cleveland Indians. And when we talk about this rebuild here in Detroit, it's not like the Central Division is lighting it on fire right now. Do you expect that might expedite the process a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Kansas City is kind of in a rebuilding mood, and I don't think there's any question about that. Minnesota and Cleveland look to be maybe the best two teams right now in the division, but I also think Cleveland's missing Santana, and a lot of people forget. He got a lot of walks. He hit a lot of home runs last year for the Indians. He was a big part of their team. They also had Jay Bruce, the second half of last season.
Yeah,
now, I'm not saying they're not the
straight.
best team in the league. I think they are, but at the same time, they still got good pitching. But they lost Shaw. Andrew Miller's pitched a lot. So I think Cleveland's the cream of the crop right now, but I don't think Cleveland is possibly as good as they were last year.
Martin, the batter, and he rolls one foul.
Yeah, Jay Bruce was there when they won those 22 straight games.
That's right.
What's been the biggest surprise for you, Jim, overall with this team this year? I mean, you saw him in spring training. You've seen him a bunch here. I know you watch the team quite often. Has there been any big surprises for you so far?
No, I think the starting pitching has been pretty good. I think Gardy's still in the process of trying to figure out the bullpen. And, everybody makes this big emphasis on the bullpens in today's world. But if the truth be known, a good bullpen is 6 2/3, 7-inning starters.
Mm.
That's what gives you a good bullpen.
Exactly.
You saw tonight something I always talked about. If you're using your bullpen because you want to and not because you have to, it's a whole different case. And in the first game, you saw that both managers had to use their bullpen, which is totally different. If you're using it because you want to, it's a totally different situation.
Mm-hmm. How long, Skip, does it usually take before a manager, like in Gardy's situation right now, kind of figures out the roles?
Well, that depends on the pitchers. I mean, that depends on the guys doing the job. People have to step up. They're going to get opportunities. When there's opportunities there for pitchers, somebody has to do the job. And the guys that do the job on a little more consistent basis, he can eventually set them into some kind of a set role, and it works out better for everybody. But somebody has to take the bull by the horns. This is not the minor leagues. You don't give jobs away up here, and you have to earn them. And, the bullpen so far, I think, Greeny's been okay, and Jimenez has been okay. But, we need some guys to step up. And, like I say, we probably need about 2 more outs. In some cases, 2 or 3 more outs from our starting pitchers.
Yeah.
And that would make our bullpen a lot better because you've got the 9th inning with Green right now. That's your guy. You chose him. That's fine. So if you get 6 2/3, 7 innings, you're only talking about getting 1 1/3 or 1 inning out of a bullpen. That you can keep them fresh that way. You can keep them rested that way. So, like I say, this stuff about the bullpen is all fine and dandy, but good bullpen is 7-inning starters.
2-2 on Martin. And that'll dart low. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Leonis. Chatting with Jim Leland here in Pittsburgh, who makes his home here in Pittsburgh. And, of course, you got a lot of great memories in this ballpark, don't you? Or this city, I should say.
This city, yeah, but not so much this ballpark. I really never managed here except, as a visiting team. I managed over in the old Three Rivers Stadium, so I never had the pleasure. But this is the beauty, isn't it? It's a gorgeous ballpark.
3-2 now on Martin. Tigers trail 3-0. Martin loops this one in the air, and it's going to be run down with a shortstop Mercer. Well, one of my favorite Jim Leland moments back in 2013, Skip, the moonwalk. We appreciate it. Thanks for stopping us, Skip.
Thanks for having me, guys. Love listening to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
34 hits, which is the most combined hits in a single game this season. Fortunately for the Tigers, they had a few more of them and a few more runs and won the opener. They trail here in the nightcap, though. 3-0 is our score. There you go. 34 hits. Sox and A's had 33. So did the A's and Dodgers and D-backs.
Always nice to catch up with the former skipper, Jim Lee. And boy, he's awfully fond of Ron Gardenhire, isn't he?
He is, and I think he always has been. His entire career, he's always talked very well of Gardy. In the air to center field. Martin started back, comes in now, and one gone.
I think Jim always appreciated how hard Ron Gardenhire's teams played. We talked about Gardy a little bit a couple of days ago, and the fact that he won one Manager of the Year award, but he finished second 5 times.
Right.
And we're talking about teams that had low payrolls and teams that really weren't given a chance to compete in that division, but yet they were there every single year.
Well, when you look at the lineups that Gardy had in Minnesota, you had the Mauer-Morneau crew.
Right.
And really beyond that, I mean, you had some guys who were really good big league players, not superstars, though.
Yeah, they had some guys that knew how to play the game on that carpet. Guys that could run. Alexi Casilla and Punto and the rest of those guys that they would run out there every night.
Drive you nuts.
Of course, Torrey Hunter was a big part of their success there. Jock Jones. Had some good teams.
Michael Kadire.
Yeah.
Another solid player.
Some good baseball players. Good people.
Well, Josh Bell is up there now with 1 out. Boyd gave up 3 on the homer in the second. And he'll miss low and away.
Josh Bell said he really worked hard on his right-handed swing this offseason. And because opposing managers last year kept turning him around, every time he'd come up in a pressure situation, they would go to a left-hander, so he would have to turn around to the right side where he does not have as much power.
Got himself a walk here with 1 out. On base for the second time. Here is David Freese. Single scored a run on the Osuna home run. Strike 1.
That's what Matthew Boyd has been doing a lot of against the right-hand batters. He starts that breaking ball off the plate, outside, and the right-handers, they see the ball away, and they give up on it, but the spin on it, the spin on the breaking ball allows it to come back to the outside corner.
Boyd got him 1-2-3 in the first. He struck out a pair. He has fanned 3 in the ball game. That'll dive in for a strike on the outer edge. Tim Tibbins goes up with the right hand.
Here's that breaking ball that I was just speaking of. He starts the ball off the plate. As a hitter, you see it off the plate. You haven't picked up spin yet. And that ball is able to catch the outside corner with a really nice frame job with the glove by John Hicks.
Ground ball left side of the hole. Iglesias fires to second. 1. Relay not in time.
That's a nice job by Iglesias. There are times where Iglesias will simply try to backhand that ball to try to be too quick. But that time, he got his body in front of it because he knew it wasn't a double play ball, and he wanted to make sure that he fielded it cleanly, and he gave Dixon Machado a nice feed at second base. He could backhand this ball, but he says, you know what, I'm going to get in front of it because I want to make sure I make the play. It's one of the things that we've said about Iglesias since he's been in the Tiger uniform, that he makes the flashy plays, but last couple of years he's made the routine plays as well. Consistently made the routine plays.
I think when Omar Vizquel was here, he had gotten into his ear about that and tried to get him to maybe tone it down a little bit, make those routine plays along with the flash that he does possess. Osuna skies one in the air and is shallow left. It's going to be Jones calling off Iglesias, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a walk, 1 man left. We go to the 4th. Jim Leland about that with Brian Shaw gone now.
Yeah, he's pitched a lot the last couple of years, Andrew Miller, and I know that the Cleveland Indians are glad that it's something in the lower leg and not something with that valuable left arm that he has.
Jamer Candelario leads it off, and then Castellanos and Goodrum here in the 4th inning. Tigers down by a 3 spot. Jamer fanned in his only at bat, and he'll look at a ball down low, 1-1. Candelario scored 5 times in the first game of the doubleheader. Trying to get something started here against Cool. And he will. He'll shoot that one to left center field. It's going to get down and go to the wall. He might get 3 out of this. Candy takes the turn. He's coming to third. And Candelario has himself a triple to start things off in the 4th.
And can't need that triple in the first game. He would hit for the cycle.
So we'll give him the doubleheader cycle.
How about this ball? I mean, this ball is whistled into the outfield. It's a fastball at about 94, and it gets out there and to that 410 sign. It jets right out there, and this allows him to get to third base as Rodriguez runs it down.
Tigers had their second hit. Castellanos trying to drive him in. Third triple of the year for Candelario.
He's been racking up a lot of extra base hits lately. He doubled in the first game. He homered in the first game. He tripled here in the second game.
Nick struck out in the first inning. Cool struck out the side in the first. That triple by Candelario gives the Tigers 11 extra base hits in this doubleheader. It'll dive low and away. 2-1. Cool's been pretty good in this home ballpark of his here at the PNC, dating back to the end of last May.
Yeah, I saw them numbers.
6-2 with a 2.70 ERA. Swing and miss. 2-2.
He's got 96, 97 with his fastball, and then he throws this slider up there at about 89 miles an hour, which is a hard slider. And it pretty much looks like a fastball coming out of his hand until like the last 5 feet, and that's when that ball starts to break down and away from the right-handed batter.
Missed it inside. 3-2 on Nick. Here's the full count pitch. Little looper into right field, base hit. That'll get a run in. 3-1 ball game. Castellanos an RBI single. He's driven in 5 in the doubleheader. Oh, Jamer comes around to score another run. Chevrolet's most dependable player was Candelario, second player in interleague history with 5 runs in a single game in the opener. And he has scored again here tonight in the nightcap.
Beautiful piece of hitting there by Nicholas Castellanos with 2 strikes, just simply taking what Chad Cool was willing to give him, and he threw him a breaking ball, and Nicholas just flipped it the opposite way.
Nico Goodrum, the batter. Nico had a walk in the second. Rip foul. Ooh, that thing went whistling by Bell at first base.
Oh, ball girl down there didn't want nothing to do with that one down there.
She made a good play in the opener, but
yeah,
that one, as you like to say, had some hair on.
That one came to eat.
Got to get out of the way of those. 0-2 on Nico. That's going to get away and advance the runner. So move Castellanos to second base.
The hard slider there. And Diaz got down. He tried to get in front of it, but that ball trickled to the left of him. So that'll go as a wild pitch. And Nicholas Castellanos in scoring position.
Now the 1-2. Time was called, no pitch. Well, that's a late time. Nico replacing Miguel here in game 2. Are you surprised at all that Gardy decided to bat him cleanup?
No, I mean, because really I don't know who else he would bat cleanup. Nico's a switch hitter. Makes it tougher for him to match up against him late in the game.
Now the 1-2. Off the plate, 2-2.
Looks like Gardy has the left-hander, then the switch hitter, then a right-hander, switch hitter, right-hander. And the remainder of the guys are right-handed.
Tigers got to Cool for 4 runs in 5 2/3 back on April 1st in Detroit. Cool won that ball game. Pirates won at 8-6. In the air towards center field and hit deep. Marte is on the run, still going back. Goodrum hits it off the wall. Castellanos will come to third base and stop there. He will not score on the double.
Ooh, Nicholas.
Second and third, nobody out.
Nice job here by Nico Goodrum getting himself back in the count. He goes down to the bottom of the strike zone. And he gets a breaking ball. Nick Castellanos was on second base, and he did not go halfway to second base, and that's probably what you should do in that particular situation. If you're Nicholas Castellanos, what you have to do is you have to go halfway, and then if starting Marte catches that ball, his momentum is going to carry him back to the wall anyway, so you have plenty of time to go back to the bag and tag up if you need to. But once the ball falls, you're able to score rather easily. So I'm sure he and Dave Clark are talking about that right now over at third base. Let's take a look at the play. You see where Nick is at right now? He's on the bag. And there was really no need for him to be on the bag. Nick should have been halfway on that particular play. Because again, even if starting Marte catches the ball, Nick is able to get back to second base, tag up, and then go to third base. But if the ball drops and he's halfway, of course he scores there.
Well, you saw Nick motion out to Goodrum saying, my bad. He cost him an RBI. But the Tigers still in great shape here now. With second and third, nobody out. And Jacoby Jones up there. He'll foul it back 0-1. Jacoby struck out in the second. One of 5 strikeouts already for Cool. The 0-1. Here's Nick right here motioning, my bad.
Yep, talking to Nico. That's an easy fix, though. That's just all Dave Clark will have to mention that to Nicholas Castellanos one time, and we won't see it the remainder of the year.
Line drive caught by the second baseman, flipped out for a double play. Man, oh man. Another shot off the bat of Jacoby Jones.
That's a play right there. If you're Nico Goodrum and you're on second base, that ball was hit extremely hard. And second and third, nobody out. You have to be getting back to the bag because you just don't know if it's going to be caught. First, you have to know exactly where the defender is playing. And you could see Nico Goodrum took about 2 or 3 steps toward third base, and he just wasn't able to get back.
So with 2 outs now, it'll bring up Hicks. The runner at third with 2 away. Ball 1 to Hicks.
Jacoby Jones continues to hit the ball extremely hard.
Hit a really good first game, and now another solid line drive here in the nightcap. It'll pop up shallow center field, and it's going to be caught on the move by Marte, so minimal damage done. Tigers settled for 1 run. 3-1 ball game.
Did he do it again?
He did it. He's homered once again, and so Gregorius with 9 home runs. This is on a team that has Judge, Sanchez, and Stanton.
Didi is going to drive in 100 runs this year, and sandwiched in between those 2 boppers they have on their team.
Matt Boyd goes back to work. Tigers got him a run back, and he'll miss low. 1-0. It'll be Diaz, Moroff, and then Cool. Two balls, no strikes. Elias Diaz, 8 of 16 at first pitch strikes now for Mr. Boyd, so only half of them. Ground ball left side. Iglesias, a couple of steps to his right.
The Pirates have a very aggressive offensive team. They like to hunt fastballs. That's what their manager did when he was a hitting coach. Clint Hurdle was a hitting coach for a number of years in Colorado and Texas in between his managerial stints. But they love to hit the fastballs, and I think Matthew Boyd has kind of thrown quite a few breaking balls to start the counts off with because of that fact.
Strike 1 to Moroff. Single, did not score his first at bat. Big swing and a miss there, 0-2. Little chopper right past the pitcher. Iglesias running scoop. Man, he makes that play look easy. 2 away now. We check in with Johnny Kane.
Yeah, Mario, Rod was just talking about Clint Hurdle, and you know what Clint implemented here in Pittsburgh 6 years ago. He started the inaugural Dad's Weekend, basically a trip where he brings some of the players, staffers, and some of the coaches' dads with him on a road trip. So they just wrapped up their 6th annual on their weekend road trip to Philadelphia. The problem was there were a lot of sad dads. They had 21 guys come along. The problem was they got swept by the Philadelphia Phillies. But in fact, Clint had said he had that idea going back to his days when he was managing in Colorado. But he said we tried to get some traction with it. We wanted to implement it in Colorado. But then I got fired in 2009, so it lost traction. But anyway, they've done it 6 years since I've been here. Pretty neat experience, though. Even his dad, Clint Sr., was on the last trip as well.
Nice. Well, too bad they couldn't oblige on the field, as they ran into a Philly team that took care of them pretty good.
That's a pretty cool time for the dads. I mean, you get a chance to hang out with your son on the road, and you know, you can bond with them, and you know, they get a chance to take batting practice. The dads get a chance to hang out in the clubhouse. It's a good time.
There's a ball hit back up the middle into center field off the bat of the pitcher, Chad Kuhl. 2-out single. I know James Tyon's dad was there in Philadelphia. Tyon, the starter in game 1, and Jameson got hit pretty good. Would he get knocked out in the 2nd inning?
Yeah, he did.
In that game in Philly?
Yeah, I was watching that game a little bit before I left to come to the ballpark today, doing a little scouting work on Jameson Tyon. They took a shot of his dad in the stands, and his dad was, like most dads are, just up there nervous as all get out.
Well, the good story is after the game, he went up to his son and said, well, there's always basketball. I think James is doing all right. 1 strike to count on Sean Rodriguez.
He's doing a nice job again. Is Matthew Boyd mixing in all of his pitches, the fastball, the breaking ball, the changeup. Not getting too predictable behind the plate is Jonathan Hicks. Wow.
It's kind of an understated part of any pitcher's success, don't you think, how the catcher handles it?
Yep, and how many times he has to shake him off. You know that Hicks doesn't catch him all that often, but the fact that Matthew Boyd continues to throw just about everything that he puts down, there's a good sign. They're on the same page.
One and two now on Rodriguez, who has had a tough night so far. He's fanned twice. Tigers trailed 3-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th of game 2 in this doubleheader. Game 1 was a marathon that nearly took 4 hours to complete. Tigers won that game 13-10. Well, you touched on this earlier now. The Tigers going to have to go to the pen at some point. That's 80 for Boyd. That 36 pitch second. Ooh, a little bit off the plate.
Yeah, he tried to wrap that breaking ball around the dish again to get that strike 3 called from the home plate umpire tonight, Tim Timmons.
Runner will go on 3-2. And he walked him. Single and a walk with 2 outs. Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device. Fox Sports Go. Download the app. Take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Brought to you by Oakland University.
Yeah, I just.
So a 2-out threat now with Jordy Mercer coming up. Strike 1 at the top of the zone against Mercer. A couple of fly balls, 1 to center, 1 to left for the Pirate shortstop. A little bit outside, 1-1. So cool here this evening that Cool, the runner at second base, the starting pitcher, is wearing a jacket. Keep that pitching arm warm.
Right.
Now the 1-1. Way high, 2-1 now. One of the things that Boyd has done is, and you don't see this much obviously with guys on base, but that is quicken up the delivery, and I think that's something that Bosio has worked with everybody in the staff on.
Yep, tempo. And get that baseball and fire it back in there. It's the second mound visit here by Detroit tonight.
I like that speed up tempo because it affects so many different parts of the game. You know, it may keep the hitter off balance. It allows your defense to stay in the game.
Right, keeps them on their toes. Mr. Bosio and Mr. Gardenhauer are already talking about who they're going to use next out of the bullpen. 85 pitches in the fourth here for Matthew.
Three and one. Starling Marte waiting on deck. Back up the middle and into center field. Cool coming to third. They're going to stop in there as Martin gets up with it quickly, and now the bases are loaded.
It's a wise decision by the third base coach, Joey Cora. Did not want to run the pitcher into a collision at home plate with John Hicks. And then you add the fact that since 2013, Martin has 51 outfield assists, which is the most in the majors. It's a lot of assists for Martin. Very strong arm in center.
Here comes Boz. Pitching coach making his way out. So they are loaded up with 2 outs. They got a single by the pitcher, a walk to Rodriguez, and a single by Mercer. Got some more action in the Tigers bullpen now. It's Alex Wilson who came on to pitch in game 1, but he's warming up here in the 4th inning of game 2.
Alex got 2 huge outs in game 1.
Enjoy the Tigers in Kroger for the 7th annual Pink Out the Park. It's Sunday, May 13th. Tigers taking on Seattle at 1:10. Special ticket package includes a Pink Out the Park t-shirt and a donation to breast cancer research. Go to tigers.com/pinkouts to help out. Well, Boyd just needs to get one more out here, although he's got the number 3 hitter up there, Marte. Trying to keep this a 2-run ball game. I saw Bosio call in the middle infielders on that trip to the mound as well.
Yeah, I did. Iglesias and Machado both stayed at their respective positions, but when Boz came out, he had them both come in. Maybe it's a different positioning they want for Marte here.
Strike one. A bluff of a throw by the catcher Hicks. Hicks has done a nice job behind the plate. You know, the Tigers catchers combined are throwing out nearly 47% this year. That's Hicks and McCann.
And it's a little bit more difficult for Hicks to do because he only catches, what, once, twice a week maybe?
Sure.
So for him to stay sharp behind the plate and throw the ball as well as he's thrown the ball is remarkable. He has tied Marte up with that breaking ball down around his back foot all night long tonight. He struck him out in the first. Marte just can't pick it up. 90 pitches.
Yeah. 90 already. That'll get back out of play.
We hung him a breaking ball right there. And he got away with it. I mean, but you do get away with some hanging breaking balls from time to time. Marte knew he had a good pitch to hit.
2-2. The season high is 102 for Matthew Boyd, but that was over 7 innings in Cleveland.
I don't know. he might stretch one more out of him if he gets Marte on this next pitch. If not, we're going to see Alex Wilson soon.
Outside now 3-2 with no place to put him.
Matthew Boyd having a really difficult time of keeping that fastball in the strike zone today. Most of his fastballs have finished up and away to all these right-handed batters.
And he walked in ball 4 to force in a run. A 2-out bases loaded walk for Marte. Did they go get him? It appears so. So Josh Bell will not face Matthew Boyd. The Tigers will go to the bullpen here. And so Matthew, 94 pitches, could not get through the fourth tonight. Alex Wilson will be coming into the ball game. Tigers go to the bullpen, and we'll be back. Brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit, and by Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. Back here in Pittsburgh, where the Tigers are trailing in game 2. Let's look at St. Mary's here in Pittsburgh. 4-1 is our score. And Alex Wilson coming out of the bullpen now. Bases are loaded, and a swing and a miss by Josh Bell. 2 outs. A 28-pitch inning for Boyd, chased him out of the game, and now Wilson in the wall side change. Here's the 0-1. It'll miss inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Boyd gave up the 3-run homer in the second, righted the ship in the third, but allowed a 2-out run here in the fourth.
Matthew Boyd had a difficult time of commanding the fastball this evening. In the 90-plus pitches that he threw, he only threw 35% fastball. The other 65% were the breaking ball and the changeup, so he clearly did not have a good feel for the fastball tonight.
Flared to the left side, foul ground, and oh, what a play there. Caught by Candelario.
Do it, Jamer.
Tremendous play up against the tarp to end the inning. Candelario doing it all in this doubleheader. Pirates get a run though. They add to their lead now 4-1, but Jamer Made sure it stayed that way. The DET at PNC. Tigers fans enjoying the action here, although trying to stay warm. They enjoyed game one, a big Tigers win. Trailing tonight in game two, though, 4-1 as Machado leads it off. Dixon, a little looper to right field. It's going to drop, base hit. Machado goes the other way, leadoff single.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Jose Osuna hit a 3-run home run. That was in the second inning. That was against Matthew Boyd to get them on the board early. The Tigers, they didn't wait around long to counter. It was Jamer Candelario once again with a huge triple in the left center field gap. And after he gets to third base, Nicholas Castellanos flips the base hit the opposite way to drive in the only run of the evening so far for Detroit. Between Cervelli and Osuna, the backup catcher, they have driven in 9 runs today.
Whoa.
9 of them. Didn't Cervelli drive in 6 in the first game?
Yeah, he did.
That's 9.
This is a career high, too. That's a lot of production. Shallow right field, and it's going to be caught by the second baseman, Mora. Well, the pitcher spot is due up, so Mike Gerber is going to go on a pinch hit. Gerber called up briefly on the last homestand, and now called up here for this series in Pittsburgh. Gerber 304 last season in the minors.
Gerber had an at-bat in the first game of the doubleheader. His first major league at-bat. It was a fielder's choice. Still looking for that first major league hit.
Ball one. Daniel Norris will be next to come into the ball game for the Tigers. Gerber 6 RBIs, 13 games, AAA Toledo. Fouls that one back out of play.
And Ron Gardenhire, you saw he and Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, talking about what they were going to do with the bullpen, and what they decided to do was bring Alex Wilson into the game, knowing that the pitcher spot was coming up, because they want Daniel Norris to pitch 3 or 4 innings in this game tonight, and they didn't want to bring Daniel in and then have him go hit.
The 1-1. Gerber, look out. He almost got Santiago. Rifled one foul. 1-2 on Mike. Santi can still move.
Yes, he can.
Gerber, as a minor leaguer, won a Gold Glove. Plays center, really can play just about anywhere in the outfield.
Gerber played center field exclusively for 5 years at Creighton University, but then when the Tigers signed him, they started playing him in right field. He played some center field as well, but they made the transition very early on with Gerber to move him to the corner outfields. Great defender.
Swing and a miss at 96. He threw it by Gerber, and there are 2 gone.
Time for the DTE Energy Know Your Own Power. Well, Martin led off the ball game. The first game of the doubleheader with a solo shot to straightaway center field. The second time, and Leonis has done that in his major league career. And that was just the start of things to come today from an offensive standpoint.
Well, you're not kidding. That was certainly an omen. Martin in the nightcap is 0 for 2, pop-up strikeout. 3 homers, 9 RBIs for the Tigers leadoff man. To right field, ball hit well, ball is hooking, ball will stay fair, and it's way gone.
Martin.
Leonis Martin with a long home run to right field, and his power surge continues. Two out, 2-run shot. That is his 4th home run of the year. 4-3 ball game.
That is a fastball that just kind of leaked right back over into the happy zone of Leonis Martin. Most left-handers love the ball down and in, and that's exactly where that ball was, and he just lifted and separated and drove the ball into the seats in right field.
Martin leads off game 1 with a homer, and now a homer in game 2.
Estimated distance on that home run off the bat of Martin, 381 feet.
Tigers now have 5 home runs in this doubleheader. Ray Searage coming out now, the longtime pitching coach of the Pirates. Both pitching coaches have they've had to work today.
Yeah, they're going to have to ice their hamstrings after this one. They've worn a path out walking to that mound today. And it's a long walk, too. A lot of foul territory.
2-0 the count on Candelario.
It's a good count for Candy, too. Hit a home run earlier today on a 2-1 count.
Steve Rags says Tim Timmons, 2-1. Candy triple strikeout in this game. 6 runs scored in the doubleheader. 2-2. Shifting to the right side of the infield. Full count, 3-2.
And you wonder if Cool will throw a breaking ball here on the 3-2 count.
To right field. And caught there by Osuna to end the inning. Tigers get a couple back though. 4-3 ball game. Leonis laid into one. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. got a wall side windows pitching change. It'll be the lefty Daniel Norris.
And Daniel Norris has made 2 relief appearances this year. This will be the 3rd. He's made 1 start this season. That start came 5 days ago against the Kansas City Royals. 4 2/3 innings of work that day. No decision for Daniel.
David Freese rolls it foul to get things started here in the bottom of the 5th. Freese, Osuna, and then Diaz.
In Daniel's 2 relief appearances, he pitched 3 or more innings in both of those games. So they're trying to just keep Daniel sharp as they can.
Check swing roller over the pitcher. Quick throw is almost in time to get him, but safe at first base on a base hit.
Daniel must have missed the bag. He got there, but he was trying to find the bag and trying to catch the ball at the same time. And a lot of times when that happens, you just miss the bag. He initially went for the ball, and once he didn't get the ball, he had to make sure that he got over to first base because Nico Goodrum fielded it. And it just looked like he may have not got his foot on the base. Oh,
yeah, they're going to look at it.
He's out.
Well,
close.
A little closer on that replay. But I think I'm with you. The one that we saw before that last replay seemed to indicate that he was out.
Right.
We'll see. Nico even double pumped on that throw, and Norris got over there. It appeared perhaps in time.
And most base running coaches, they don't like to see you slide head first into first base. But in that particular situation where there might be a collision, it's okay to go ahead and slide head first into first base here. Because really what you're trying to do is you're trying to elude the tag. You don't want contact if you're that base runner.
Called him out. Nice.
Very nice. The Tigers have been very successful on the majority of their challenges this year.
They really have. They've done a nice job. Coming into today, they were 6 for 6. Right there, man, barely. One gone here in the 5th.
And Freese thought he had an infield single.
Osuna, 3-run homer in his first at bat. He rolls out with a 3rd fair ball behind the bag. Candelario's throw is up the line. Tag made by Nico.
Nice job by Nico.
Let's bring in Johnny Kane.
Yeah, guys, Daniel Norris celebrating his 25th birthday today, and he's been buddies with the Game 1 starter for Pittsburgh, Jameson Taillon, going back to their high school days. And Taillon actually had one of his favorite coffees from his favorite coffee house sent over to the Tigers clubhouse earlier today with Daniel Norris. But these guys, a couple of days ago, had an exchange on Twitter because they've hung out a lot in the offseason. Daniel says, I used to fly down to Texas my first couple years in the league. We'd work out together, and we just hang out. Well, he also got him into watching The Office. And so Jameson Taillon said he finally got through watching that sitcom all the way through the entire series. And he said he had this empty feeling inside, wanted to know, what do I do next? And of course, Daniel Norris comes in, he says, rewatch it. He's got to rewatch it. Daniel Norris, here's a look at it. Norris, I talked to him today. He's not joking. He has watched The Office, the entire series, every season. He's now his 8th time through.
You know, Johnny, I saw that interview you did with Norris, and he seemed genuinely just, he couldn't stop laughing at that.
Yeah, he said he doesn't watch a lot of TV, but he watches that.
Yeah, he does. I'll tell you what, if that's dedication.
It is.
You know what I mean? But yeah, certainly some good humor there. So we'll see you tamale.
Well, there is ball 4 in the meantime to Diaz. He is on now with 2 outs.
Johnny, where are you today?
Where am I right now?
Yeah.
Great questions. We're up here. I can see I'm about eye level to you guys. I'm all the way up here in left field on the.
Oh, left field, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the wind's a little stiff up here, boys.
Yeah.
All right. Make it back safely.
I will.
Stay up there for another 2 innings. Then.
You got it.
Here's Moroff now. And he is 1 for 2, had a single in his first at bat. Tigers trail 4-3. Fly ball right field. Chasing Castellanos back. He'll go to the warning track. And that'll end the inning. No runs. They get a walk. They strand him in. Norris with a scoreless fifth.
In game 1 of the doubleheader, every time he came to the plate, there was runners in scoring position. He was able to drive those runs in, and the one time he drove himself in as well, and he's continued that in the night camp here today. Remember, Nicholas Castellanos went 0 for 5 in the final game of the Baltimore Orioles series when the Tigers scored 13 runs. He has gone off since that day. I mean, straight off, starting with that doubleheader on Friday against Kansas City.
Big game in the opener, and Castellanos with that base hit in the 4th inning tonight got the Tigers on the board. Nick to be followed by Goodrum and then Jacoby Jones. Pirate fan, Tiger fan.
Yeah, it looked like brothers too.
Yeah, they could be friends. Doesn't matter. Here's Nicholas now. And average up to 341. And already 16 RBIs. Castellanos trying to get to 100 again this year.
Nicholas
to a nice start.
His OPS is over 900 too.
Five RBIs in this doubleheader for Castellanos. Check it low and away, 2-0. Cool was given a 3-0 lead in this game. Right now it's 4-3.
Good slide piece there thrown by Cool at 87 miles an hour. Real good pitch. In a 2-0 count, no less.
The hard-throwing right-hander Feliz tuning up in their bullpen. Here's the 2-1 pitch. 3-1.
If you're Nicholas, no matter how many breaking balls and changeups he throws you, 3-1 count, you still have to be sitting on that 95-mile-per-hour fastball. He got it.
Thought it might have been a skosh high. Tim Timmons called it a strike. 3-2.
I I really like Castellanos and also Miguel Cabrera's approach on hard throwers with the fastball. They don't try to pull the ball. They simply try to catch the ball deep in the strike zone with the right bat path, excuse me. And they like driving the ball the other way. Mickey did it twice today.
Hasn't Nick really had that swing his entire career?
Yep, pretty much. But he's learned how with 2 strikes to kind of cut down a little bit.
Chopped left side of the infield. Diving stop there. Nice play. Freese throws him out. A skidding play in front of the shortstop.
Yeah, Freese not necessarily known for his glove, known more for his bat, but he gets over, he gets dirty, and then he gets up and makes a strong throw over first base. Easier play for the third baseman. Mercer probably would have made the play, but it's a nice job by Freese. They tell all third basemen to cut off whatever you can cut off.
Here is Nico Goodrum. Nico with a double and a walk. .211 for the year now. Goodrum fanned 4 times in the first game, has bounced back nicely here in the nightcap. And he made a couple of nice plays at second base in game 1 and made a nice play on that ground ball to get the out in the last half inning too.
Yeah, and he's a shortstop by trade. He hasn't played a lot of second base. Here's the defense that he played in the first game. This ball into the outfield. Martin got a late break on it, but there was Nico Goodrum to make the play. Then another ball went to the shallow outfield, and Iglesias could have caught that ball, but there was Nico to take it away from Iglesias.
Swing and a miss. Got him with the bender there, 2 gone. Bring Johnny Kane back in. Johnny?
Yeah, you guys were talking with Jim Leland back in the 3rd inning about some of the adjustments, some mechanical adjustments that Jacoby Jones made with his swing going back to spring training. What Jacoby and I were talking about is just about the confidence that he has. He says, you know, my confidence is pretty high right now. It doesn't matter really for me right now. If I go up to the plate, I strike out my first 2 times, the next time I come in the box, I got to have the same confidence I did as my first AB. He said, I know I've got quick hands. I got to trust them, got to let them fly.
Sometimes easier said than done, though, keeping that confidence up.
Yeah, there's no question. But I think that's what the difference maybe. He second-guessed himself maybe a little bit too much last year, but this year. But you're right. It's a mind over matter at some point.
We were talking about Jacoby and his shortstop skills transferring to the outfield. I asked him the other day, would you still like to play short? He goes, sure. I can play anywhere in the field.
I think one of the biggest things that was done for Jacoby Jones, where he gained the most confidence, is when Mikey Montauk went back down to the minor leagues. He knew at that particular time that the left field job was his, and all he needed to do was go out and play and have fun, and that's all that he's done.
Jones in this one hit a ball extremely hard as last time. I'm lined into a double play. That'll be outside. 3-1 now on Jones.
Hey, Mario, one more thing on that. You were talking about him wanting to play short, or saying he could play shortstop again. He said he actually had a conversation with Alan Trammell and Al Kaline, because Al Kaline was a shortstop growing up, and he said Al encouraged him, play the outfield like you played the infield. You got to anticipate the approach, stay on your toes, expect anything. And Jacoby said, so that's what he tries to do. He goes out the outfield, tries to play it like the infield. The only difference is the ball comes in a little higher. You know?
Well, Mr. Kaline said it.
Yeah,
you run with it.
When Kaline and Tram are talking to you about it, then that can calm you down a little bit.
Jacoby got a piece of that 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Cool.
Cool threw Jacoby a 3-1 slide piece that Jacoby swung right through. Then he came back with 96. Cool about to throw his 101st pitch of the night.
His pitch count's kind of elevated as well. Swing and a miss, man. He got Jones to strike out. Inning is over. 8 punch-outs for Chet Cool. Bottom of the 6th inning coming up. So the Pittsburgh starters night is done. Daniel Norris goes to work and threads the outside corner with a strike. Frazier, then Rodriguez, and then Mercer. And bust the inside corner and didn't like it.
Yeah, nice little bender there by Daniel.
Frazier fought that one off. He started the first game in the doubleheader, was the leadoff man, played second base and had one hit, a single, scored a run. Again, the 0-2. Swing and a miss. And Norris took care of him quickly. One out. Don't miss the Tigers take on the Seattle Mariners on Friday, May 11th at 7:10 p.m. For as little as $19 per person. Enjoy a Liney Summer Party Pack that includes a game ticket, a voucher for a draft beer. If you'd like to purchase, go to tigers.com/Liney. That's tigers.com/Liney. Strike called on Sean Rodriguez. Norris came on in the 5th, gave up a walk but no damage, and now going to work here in the 6th.
Daniel working at a real nice pace out there, throwing strike after strike after strike, whether it be the fastball or the breaking ball. He is getting that ball back from Hicks, and he's ready to go within 10 seconds. Guy gets right back up on that mound, gets ready for a sign.
It'll bounce in, 2-2. Starter tonight was Matt Boyd. He surrendered 4 bases loaded, walk in the 4th inning, was his last batter. Wilson came on to get it out. Ground ball up the middle into center field. A 1-out single by Sean Rodriguez. It'll bring up Jordy Mercer. Some thought that Norris might be sent down to the minor leagues to stretch out as a starting pitcher. The Tigers elected to keep him in the bullpen at the major league level. And he gives them a guy, not only a second lefty in the bullpen, but a guy that can throw multiple innings, which is coming in handy here tonight. Missing high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I also believe that Ron Gardenhire and Chris Bosio, they believe that Daniel has nothing to prove in the minor leagues. And that's one of the reasons why they elected to keep him up here. They feel like he can help this team up here much more than he can help the Toledo Mud Hens.
Yeah, leaning the other way, but Rodriguez back.
Sometimes, even though you have a guy like Daniel, who is a starter by trade, just to keep him in the big leagues, you have to put those kids in the bullpen sometimes and get them work that way until you can find a regular spot for him in the rotation.
Well, there's a guy in New York right now that's trying to work his way back into the rotation, Matt Harvey, who's been a very good big league pitcher. He has struggled, and they made the tough decision. Of course, that's a totally different situation, but still a tough decision nonetheless.
Pittsburgh has a pitcher like that in their bullpen as well, Tyler Glass now.
Runner trying to get to second, the throw, the tag not in time. So a strikeout of Mercer, but the runner advances.
Daniel's been spinning that baseball up there effectively today. Lots of awkward swings. Nice aggressive base running by Rodriguez once he sees that ball go down in the dirt, even though it only trickled a couple of feet away from Hicks. He got a pretty good break and an outstanding jump, and he was able to make it with the head first slide. Yeah, but I was saying that Tyler Glass now, another young Pittsburgh Pirates starter who has nothing to prove in the minor leagues. He's cutting his teeth in their bullpen as well.
Here's Starling Marte. Marte walk RBI in the 4th inning.
Without Josh Harrison in the starting lineup these days, he's on the disabled list with a broken finger. There were some people that thought that Clint Hurdle would put Marte back in that leadoff spot, but he hasn't done it yet. Marte has led off in the past for Clint Hurdle.
Throw back down, runner back in. What part of Harrison's game do you think the Pirates missed the most?
Just his enthusiasm.
Yeah.
His will to win, and not so much what he does on the field. It's how he handles himself off the field and in the clubhouse, getting guys to play. Real loose player, and sometimes you just can't replace those guys.
Drilled toward left field. Jacoby's on the run, still going back, can't get it, up against the wall. That'll get a run in, and Marte will cruise into second with his 2nd RBI of this game.
They have thrown Marte so many breaking balls in both of these games of the doubleheader that he might have had a feeling that he was going to get another one from Daniel, and he stayed back nicely on the off-speed pitch and hit an absolute missile over the head of Jacoby Jones. That was at 84, and if Jacoby can't catch it, there's not many left fielders that can catch it.
3rd double this year for Marte, and now Bell will stand in. Bell knocked in a couple of runs in game 1. Single and a walk here in game 2. Way high, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, Bell attended high school in the Dallas area and was classmates with pro golfer Jordan Spieth.
Really?
Yeah.
Wonder if he's scored any lessons along the way.
Most baseball players like to play golf.
Yeah.
Wouldn't shock me if he could hit a golf ball 300 yards.
You got a pretty good golf game, don't you?
No, I don't play as much as I used to play. I mean, I have some good holes now. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I go out and have a couple good holes, but, you know, the total round might not be all that good. But I still have fun going out there, man. I don't take it too seriously.
Well, that's why you're a good golfer then. You don't take it seriously. Fly ball to right field. Nick back it up on this one, and that will end the inning. Pirates get a run back, though, on the double by Marte. Player of the year, the hitter of the year last year as well. I mean, the accolades are just, well, this guy's going to make it. I mean, he's about as surefire as you can possibly have, right?
Well, everybody that I've heard talk about Ronald Acuna Jr. has said this guy is a legitimate five-tool player, and they don't throw that term around loosely these days. I mean, he can do absolutely everything on a baseball field, and they say he's a perennial all-star. So, and that's a lot of people that have seen a lot of really good players.
Hicks pops it up foul. This will get back out of play. Got a wall side windows pitching change now. Michael Feliz.
And Feliz has logged 9 innings so far this year, pitching in his 12th contest. 14 strikeouts, 4 walks. The league hitting .222 against Michael Feliz.
Popped up. First base side. Will it stay in play? Yes. Bell will make the catch. One gone. Acuna probably should have made the big club out of spring camp. He
No
had
doubt.
A great spring training, but there always is the business side of baseball.
Well, they pretty much knew that they were going to leave him in the minor leagues for about 3 weeks. I don't know the exact time frame, but just by leaving him in the minor leagues to start the season for 3 weeks, they buy themselves another year of holding on to Acuna, which makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, it's all about contract control. Look out. That one skittered to the backstop, and it made Machado dance.
Yeah, big arm for Feliz. Upper 90s fastball, and that last one was 96.
Feliz with the Astros in their bullpen last year fanned 70 in 48 innings. It'll dive low.
Pirates got back some really good players, potential players, in the Garrett Cole deal. Feliz, Moran, their shortstop. We also saw the kid Crick earlier tonight in the first game of a doubleheader. It's not often that you trade a big league pitcher away, Marlon. You get 3 big league players.
Very true. There's usually a prospect or two sprinkled in. Here's the 3-0. And it's a strike call. 3-1 on Machado. Walked him. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. And by Sling TV. Buy TV you love, only better. Tigers bring the tying run to the plate now. It's Iglesias, a single, a steal, and a pop-up. Ball 1. Daniel Norris has made his way to the on-deck circle. We know this. He can swing the bat.
He homered in his first at-bat as a Tiger, didn't he?
John Lester.
Yeah.
Wrigley Field.
Speaking of John Lester, he gave up a couple of home runs tonight against the Cleveland Indians. Francisco Lindor got him, and Encarnacion also got him for a home run.
Indians won that ball game 4-1. Ooh. And the count 2-1 now on Iglesias. Looked low. It was low. Diaz pulled it back in the zone.
He sure did.
Now 3-1. Line drive, left field line, ball hooking, and it is foul. Oh, man. Iglesias nearly tied the game up. He crushed that thing.
He did. He had a few home runs last year, Iglesias. I mean, single digits, but it was a career high for him.
Just missed the foul pole.
He jumped all over that heater.
3-2. Machado walking with one out here in the 7th. Tigers trail 5-3, trying to sweep the doubleheader. Just got a piece staying alive.
And Tigers have a couple of really potent bats on their bench. Miguel Cabrera did not start in the doubleheader this game, nor did Victor Martinez.
Runner going and a fly ball. Left field. It's deep. Track. Wall and caught by Rodriguez in left. Up against the wall. Sean Rodriguez hauled it in. Iglesias almost got it out. It's a heck of a play. And Iggy still can't believe it.
Rodriguez is not an outfielder by trade, but man, he made a really nice play there. And that ball gets past him. If he doesn't make that play, Machado scores for sure. And Iglesias is standing on second base. It's also a good thing those walls are padded out there too. He went into that wall face first.
Victor Martinez will pinch hit now for Norris. Outstanding play by the left fielder Rodriguez. For the moment, keeps it a 2-run game. Vimar pinch hit in the first game. Here comes another visit to the mound. They'll want to chat about how to pitch to Mr. Martinez here. 3 apiece remaining mound visits. Hey Detroit, it's April in the D and you need great food for tailgating. So here's your chance to enter to win groceries for a year from Aldi. To enter the Aldi Groceries for a Year sweepstakes, go to foxsportsdetroit.com for your chance to win. Visit over. There's Victor now. He's getting set to dig in.
So far this year, Victor Martinez hitting .324 against fastballs. And we know Feliz has a really good arm. He's got a great fastball. 96 to 98. So we'll see. Something's got to give.
Two outs, tying run at the plate at Victor Martinez. And he looks at ball 1.
Yeah, they play the shift every time Victor comes up, batting left-handed with 3 players on the right side of the infield.
Strike called, 1-1 on Martinez. Vimart frustrated in these National League parks. All he can do is pinch hit, as he did in game 1. And getting another opportunity here in game 2.
He'll be chomping at the bit to get to Baltimore.
No doubt. 2-1. Tigers have a 3-game set against the Orioles coming up after this one completes tomorrow. A day game here.
We'll see if Feliz does decide to throw Victor the mid-90s fastball, knowing that Victor can really handle that pitch. Oh, breaking ball.
Vimart tried to hold the swing up 2-2.
It's so hard when a guy throws 97 miles an hour and you get yourself in a fastball count. all you're thinking about is driving the ball into the gap somewhere, as Xfinity reminds us. And that Feliz is throwing hard. 97, his top fastball. That's our high-speed pitch.
We held it there, but missed. 3-2. Feliz up to 20 seventh-inning pitches. Hearts of 3 years with the Astros, each of the last 3 seasons. Won a World Series title last year with the Stros. Pull to right field. That ball is hit well, and it is foul. Man, the Tigers had missed twice in this inning, barely.
He threw Victor another breaking ball, and Victor was out in front of it just a hair.
Victor thought he got it, trying to will it.
Yeah, leaning. He trying to lean it back fair. Here comes that fastball now, though. Victor knows it, too.
Popped him up. First base side. It's going to be Bell. Has room up against the railing and holds on. Diaz is out, so are the Tigers. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. The Pirates in this one. And Buck Farmer is on now in a wall side windows pitching change.
Yeah, Buck also pitched in the first game of the doubleheader here today. It's the 11th game now that Buck has pitched in. He's averaging at least 1 strikeout per inning. He's also walked 8.
Got David Freese leading it off. Freese, Osuna, and then Diaz. Buck came on in the 7th of game 1, gave up a double, a walk, faced 3 batters. That'll miss inside.
Freese homered against Buck Farmer, excuse me, in that opening series of the season. It was a breaking ball. And I talked to Buck a couple days after that, and he said he probably should have thrown him something else, because really the entire day, that's all they had thrown him was breaking balls. And Buck felt like Freese was looking for a breaking ball in the first pitch that he threw him, and Freese was able to hit it out of the ballpark.
2-2.
It was almost like the at-bat he had against Moustakas a couple of days ago. He threw
Exactly.
5 or 6 straight changeups, and finally, Moustakas caught up to one of those changeups.
Farmer replacing Norris, who went 2 innings for the Tigers. Shot to left field, and Jacoby catching it chest high.
Osuna got the Pirates on the board early in the game. It was a fastball up in the strike zone, 3-run shot to straightaway center field. You saw Matthew Boyd pointing up. That ball was up around his eyes, he said, and he hit it out.
Drill to center field, and Osuna, who is the 26th man for the doubleheader, has provided some dividends. A homer, now a single. They called up the right guy. That is 10 hits now for the Pirates. Elias Diaz will step in. Diaz on base twice, single, walk. Ball 1. Tigers again have a chance to get to 500 with a win in this game. They are 10-11.
They've had several opportunities the last week to get to 500.
One and one on Diaz. Yeah, they had a chance against the Royals, and that's when KC scored 2 in the 9th to grab a win.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-1. Little chopper. Quick throw by Buck, and it's going to get away. That's going to go down the line. Let's see if they try and score the run. They are. Castellanos' throw to the plate. It's not going to be in time, and that is a costly throwing error to make it a 6-3 lead for the Pirates.
And Buck Farmer does a nice job getting over here, picking the ball up, but he threw it from that sidearm angle, just bounced it over there. Nico Goodrum just couldn't pick it. And by the time that ball was picked up, and Diaz standing on second base and Osuna coming home to score.
Three-run game now, and that is the first error of the ball game for either team. Max Moroff stands in. Ball 1. It's also the 11th hit of the game now for the Pirates. Single E1. Moroff 1 for 3 with a base hit. One and two on Moroff. Low ball 2. Level the count. Pitcher spot due next, but Dickerson has picked up the bat, going to the on-deck circle. Farmer working against the bottom of the lineup here. They have scored a run. Did he go? Strike 3 called, and Moroff is out of there.
And Ron Gardenhire probably will walk Dickerson.
Got first base open here. Dickerson just announced as the pinch hitter.
And on top of that, he's their best RBI guy.
There's the 4 given by Gardy, so the intentional walk. What are your thoughts on the rule that happened last year where you just send the guy to first base on the intentional walk?
Well, I mean, if they want to speed up the game, obviously it's not a bad play, but I've seen several times where pitchers try to lob that ball up there and walk a guy, and they throw the ball back to the screen. So it's not a given that they're going to be able to just throw the ball to the catcher. But I guess they feel like the speed-up rules are more important.
There is Sean Rodriguez now with 2 on and 2 outs.
How about you? How you feel about it?
I agree with that 100%. You know, I know that speeding up the game has been a big part of it, but I've seen it happen a couple of times too. Now, it doesn't happen all that often, I understand.
It will happen, though.
But it will happen. It will affect the game. Rodriguez single and a walk in this contest. One and one. Tigers got to keep it a 3-run game here. They have hung around all night here in the nightcap. One and two. Matthew Boyd started this one for the Tigers, gave up a 3-run homer early and then a bases loaded walk in the 4th, and that was his last batter. Wilson, Norris, Farmer coming in the ball game after the starter Boyd. Ball high, did not chase. 95 from Buck there, and the count levels now at 2s. Rodriguez has chipped in with a single, a walk, and a nice running catch up against the wall on a drive by Iglesias.
If you're Buck Farmer, you want Rodriguez to put the ball in play right here or get a strikeout. You did not want to go 3 and 2, which would allow the runners to take off from their respective bases. Get a head start, so to speak.
Should Rodriguez reach, Mercer is next. Pirates trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. They have lost 7 of their last 8. These two teams meet annually in interleague play, regardless of the opposing divisions that they play. This has become kind of a rivalry, I guess, between these two clubs. There's a swing and a miss. Down he goes to strike him out. Inning over. They'll get a run to make it 6-3. Leonis Martin will get things started for the Tigers as we go to the 8th. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
Leonis Martin led off the first game of the doubleheader with a solo shot into straightaway center field. Then in the nightcap, in his last at-bat, another home run. This one to right field for Leonis. He has now 4 homers on the season.
So Martin will try and get things rolling here in the 8th, down by 3 runs. Tigers have been out hit 11-6. Last time the Tigers had a player to hit a home run in both games of a doubleheader.
Donnie Kelly, baby.
2010. Donnie Kelly, baby.
Donnie Kelly, the pride of Pittsburgh.
Martin, Candelario, Castellanos facing George Cantos.
Martin might just bunt down by a few runs. He knows they need base runners. He's already done it 3 times this year.
Ball 1 outside. 1 for 3 in the nightcap. Here are the numbers on Cantos.
He's got a 4.50 ERA, a whip of 1.50. Not a strikeout guy. Only 2 of those this year for George. He wrapped that breaking ball at 88 right around the outside corner.
And a scoreless 8th inning on Sunday in Philly, the last time he's pitched. Chopper to the right side, backhanded there by Bell. Cantos covers for the outs.
That was a really nice firm feed by the first baseman, Josh Bell.
A couple of other changes. It looks like Dickerson stays to the game to play left. Sean Rodriguez has moved over to right field, replacing Osuna. Here's Jamer Candelario. Jamer a triple in the 4th. So if you count both games, he's hit for the cycle. Single double homer in game 1. He's going to pull this one down the line in right field. That's going to hook, and that's a foul ball.
He is seeing the ball so well right now.
What do you got on Candelario? I think we thought that in spring camp he would settle in nicely into the 2 spot, but I think he might be a little ahead of schedule.
He just looks awfully confident in the batter's box, and it really doesn't matter who is pitching. A hard thrower, guys that throw lots of breaking balls. He just gives you a quality plate appearance every time he steps in the batter's box. He's been a pleasant surprise.
0-2. The #1 prospect in the Cubs system when the Tigers acquired him in that deal, Justin Wilson, Alex Avila. Just kind of goes to show you, you really don't know when you're trading for prospects how the deal is going to work out for at least a couple of years.
Right.
And sooner in Candelario's case. Pulled right to the first baseman. Bell's going to knock it down. Somebody better get there, and he is out. Cantos got there barely. 2 gone.
Well, Cantos thought the ball was caught by Josh Bell. And then once the ball got down, Bell was not going to beat Candelario to the bag, and Cantos, he just beat Candelario there.
Two gone now, and that'll bring up Castellanos.
Another rocket off the bat of Jamer.
We've said that a million times tonight.
Man.
And really a lot of rockets. Nicholas singled in a run in his middle at bat. A little squibber back up the middle. And that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Cantos. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. be when it's time. Come to Comerica, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Back here in Pittsburgh, game 2 of this doubleheader. Tigers won the opener. Pirates lead the nightcap as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Tigers have a new pitcher coming on now. Out of the bullpen is their 26th man here for the second game of the doubleheader, Artie Lewicki.
And Lewicki made 3 starts down in the minor leagues in Toledo. He was 2-1 with a 5.79 earned run average. He did have 13 strikeouts in the 14 innings that he pitched down in Toledo.
So he will get the 8th. Jordy Mercer leads it off.
Artie appeared in 4 games last year with the Tigers. One of those a start. He had a good year last year, Mario, between AA and AAA, 25 starts. Artie was 14-4 with a 3.38 ERA.
Pulled on the ground and through. That's going to be a base hit for Mercer.
It's a dangerous count. 2 balls, no strikes. Predictable fastball count in the big league. These guys don't usually miss the fastballs when they know they're coming.
Artie last year with those numbers Rod talked about, ranking 7th among all minor leaguers with 14 wins. ERA a little over 3. This season in Toledo.
And you got to keep the score right where it's at. Tigers still have a huge bat on their bench in Miguel Cabrera.
Starling Marte with nobody out. Been a good nightcap from Marte. Bases loaded walk, RBI double. He's knocked in 2. Pirates lead 6-3 here in the 8th, looking for more. Swing and a miss. Marte unable to hold up. 2-1. Innings may seem insignificant when you get called up as the 26th man, but Lewicki comes up here. If he can have a good inning, that'll leave an impression.
No doubt. They've also seen him in spring training.
He's got to deal with the 2, 3, and 4 hitters here. 2-2 on Starling Marte. Going to wrap up this series tomorrow afternoon at 12:35. Then it's on to Baltimore. Line drive caught by Machado at second. And Mercer quickly gets back to first base.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Chad Kuhl started for the Pittsburgh Pirates here in the nightcap. He pitched 6 innings. He had 8 strikeouts. Fastball was blazing, got all the way up to 97 miles an hour. He threw lots of really good breaking balls as well. Chad Kuhl probably threw about 60% fastballs here today, just like most of his teammates do. They love the fastball here.
Now Josh Bell. Ball 1. Tigers have been doubled up in the hit totals here in the nightcap, 12-6. Ball low, diving down, 2-0 now on Bell. Tigers in the 9th inning will have Goodrum, Jones, and Hicks due up. And as Rod mentioned, Miguel Cabrera lurking on the bench. Shallow left field, Jones comes running in. 2 gone. Well, it's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers all new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone. David Freese now with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Freese tonight in the nightcap, a single and 4 at-bats. Run scored as well. 0-2. On a chilly night here in Pittsburgh, they've got a guy named Freese batting right now and a guy named Cool who started the game. That's fouled back out of play. And I think the fans in the seats are both freezing and cool.
All of the above.
Whatever it takes.
I guess.
Driven foul out of play. The attendance here tonight was a little over 9,000, 93-96 for this doubleheader. Straight doubleheader. Usually they are split doubleheaders.
Baseball fans braving the elements.
Baseball fans all around baseball have had to this April. It has been unusually bitter, whether it's cold, rain. Now Lewicki again with the 0-2. Another one back out of play.
If you're Lewicki, you can't make a mistake here. No balls and 2 strikes. That last breaking ball was up in the strike zone. That was an easy pitch for Freese to make contact on. You want to make sure you bury that ball at the bottom of the strike zone, especially with 2 strikes.
To right field. Castellanos backing up, looks up, and that ball is off the top of the wall. They're going to try and score another run. Here's the throw to the plate, the slide, and he is safe at home plate. It's a whale of a slide there by Mercer.
And that was a gamble by the third base coach, Joey Cora, as well. But with a 3-run lead, and I guess you can force the issue.
The ball came right back to Nick.
Artie has to make a better 0-2 pitch than that. That ball should not be hit that hard once you get ahead of the guy. 0-2. They're going to check it.
Yep.
That ball hit extremely hard off the gate. Nicholas gets it up and gets it to Machado. Machado wastes very little time. A strike to Hicks.
It was Tim Timmons right there. Here's a great view.
We'll be able to see it right here. If he did get him, he just got his shirt. I could not really tell from that last.
Well, it's a big call. It's the difference between a 3-run lead and a 4-run lead. That ball almost left the ballpark, too.
Yeah, it was a high fastball. He tomahawked that ball off the gate.
Hicks reaching back may have gotten him on the shirt. We'll see. Oh, he tagged him with the glove, but the ball's in his hand. Well, I don't know about that.
Well, it looks like the ball's in the glove as well.
Is it?
Well, I can't tell from that angle right there, but.
Here's the call. Safe. That might be the first challenge the Tigers have lost this year.
Yeah.
So it's a 7-3 ball game. Double RBI for Freese. It's Colin Moran to pinch hit. Moran in the opener, 2 out of 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs. In there, strike 1. Lewicki surrendered a single. With 2 outs, he surrenders a double off the top of the right field wall. One ball and 1 strike on Moran. Strike called. So Lewicki now 22 pitches. The 1-2. Fought it off. How about an update on Pick the Stick, brought to you by Ram? What's going on here in the nightcap? Ooh, a -4 for Seymour. Right, Nico got you 3.
Yeah, I'm chipping away. I'm trying to keep you off my back. I think you caught me in the first game today.
Gibby's got Martin with 6.
Gibby's had a great day today. He had McCann in the first game of the doubleheader. He took Martin in the nightcap. So, and Gibby, he racked up quite a few points today.
Leonis had a good doubleheader. Moran trying to drive in a run here with 2 outs. Freese at second. And he'll loop one in the air to right field. That's going to drop, base hit. It'll score another run. Moran with a pinch hit single to drive in the Pirates' 8th run of the night.
The Pirates do a pretty nice job for the most part with 2 strikes. We just saw Freese a double off the right field gate with 2 strikes. And that's a nice piece of hitting here by Moran with 2 strikes. I mean, that ball, he picked it off the dirt.
$14 hits now for the Pirates as they add on. Here is Elias Diaz. Big play back in the 7th inning was a 2-run game. Hit a little ground ball that was thrown away by Farmer that scored a run, and that lengthened the lead to 6-3 at that point. Diaz 2 hits in this game. Two and 0. he has lost his footing. He swung so hard.
Yeah, that was a 2-0 fastball. He knew he was going to get it, and he was not trying to hit a single. He was trying to hit the ball in the ballpark.
Lewicki now approaching 30 pitches. This will be number 29 here in the 8th. Two and two.
Every game in Major League Baseball is complete with the exception of this one tonight. We're the only ones still playing.
Game 1 of the doubleheader nearly took 4 hours to play. 3:55 in the opener.
Yeah, there was a lot of offense in that contest.
We had 23 runs on 34 hits. Diaz still staying alive.
And less than 12 hours from now, we'll be right back at it.
Pirates and Tigers in the final game right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Tune us in at 11:30 for Tigers Live tomorrow. Ground ball up the middle. There's a base hit. That's going to move Moran to second, and now Lewicki, 32 pitches in, can't get that final out. Max Moroff now with 2 outs. 7th man at bat in the inning. Pirates have added 2 here in the bottom of the 8th. They lead by 5. Did not go. Moroff is 1 for 4 with a single. One and one. A little bit outside, 2 and 1. Moroff had a single way back in the 2nd when the Pirates took a 3-0 lead in the home run by Osuna. 2 and 2. So Lewicki gave up a single to start the inning, then got 2 quick outs. Trying to get that 3rd, it's been a challenge for him. It'll get back out of play. Well, tomorrow we mentioned it's the final game in the series. The matchup brought to you by Wallside Windows. Hey, Michael Fulmer is on the mound against Ivan Nova.
And Nova was their opening day starter. He checks in with a 2-1 record, a 4.20 ERA. Michael Fulmer 1-2 with a 3.47, 13 strikeouts for Michael. 283 opponent's batting average against him. He was outstanding in his last outing.
Lewicki might throw 40 pitches in this inning.
Starting to look that way. He has had no trouble getting ahead of the Pirates hitters in this inning, but he has not been able to put them away after he has gotten 2 strikes on him. How about these guys? A lot of these guys choke up on that bat, man.
Yeah. So the next one will be the 40th of the inning for Lewicki. RBIs for Freese and Moran. Ball high. 3-2. Gardy's starting to pace a little bit now. The bullpen is quiet, and 40 thrown by Lewicki here. Here's the 3-2. He walked it. Ball forward to load the bases. Here goes Boz. Give Lewicki a chance to kind of regroup here. 8-3 in favor of the Pirates. Tigers down to 2 mound visits remaining. Lewicki got a couple of quick outs after the single, but he just not been able to put the Pirates away.
Out of all the pitches in this inning, I bet you the one that Lewicki would love to have back is the 0-2 pitch to Freese, because it looked like he was going to put him away. Had he thrown him a good breaking ball, but he went upstairs with a fastball, and Freese doubled off that Clemente wall in right.
Here is Dickerson, who drew an intentional walk as a pinch hitter in the 7th. He's got him loaded up here. Moran, Diaz, Moroff. There was 92 and he swung right through it.
Yeah, Dickerson a lot of times after a pitching coach goes out to visit, and when the pitcher's struggling with his control, as a hitter, you pretty much know that first pitch that you're going to get is going to be a fastball.
Oh, 0-2. Popped up third base side, Candelario and Hicks squeezes it for the final out. They'll leave them loaded. We get 2 big runs, and we are headed to the 9th. Score, they've been out hit 15-6 in this game. And the closer is on now for the Pirates. That is Felipe Vasquez. And he goes to work and delivers strike one to Nico Goodrum.
He's got a big arm. He's got a fastball that can get up to triple digits. For the most part, he's 97, 98. He has 5 saves this year and 5 chances.
He'll be caught in right field by Rodriguez. One gone.
And the last time we saw Vasquez, his last name was Rivero.
It was. He has since changed it to Vasquez.
Just 2 weeks ago.
Also, the last time we saw him, he struck out Cabrera, Castellanos, and Martinez to earn his first save back on April 1st.
That was after having a 1 bad outing to start the season. He blew one in that opening series,
right?
Too? Yeah.
Jacoby hacking away, fouls it off. He is 0 for 3 in the game.
And Pittsburgh left 13 men on base, too. This could have been a whole lot worse.
1 ball, 1 strike. On the outer edge. 1-2 on Jones. Got him chasing. Breaking ball out of the zone for out number 2. Last chance for the Tigers now, John Hicks. Hicks 0 for 3 in the game. 96 there from Vasquez, fouled straight back. Here's a base hit to right field. Hicks may get more. It's going to go to the wall. Hicks on his way to second with a 2-out double. That'll keep it alive for the Tigers.
John Hicks does not get a chance to play all that often, but when he does, he usually puts the ball in play with some authority. And this time he goes to right center field. Real good swing by John.
Tigers have their 7th hit. There is Machado. Dixon on base twice in this game, single and a walk. Striking the outer edge at 95. That'll move him out of the batter's box. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's the second time they've gone aggressively inside with a fastball to Dixon Machado. I believe it was Felice that did it his last time up.
Fouled away now. The Tigers down to their final strike, 1-2. Vasquez trying to close this one down. Hicks at second with 2 outs. Outside, 2-2. Contos a 1-2-3-8, and now Vasquez here in the 9th. Tigers have got a 2-run homer from Martin in this game. Nick has driven one in with a base hit. And a fly ball, shallow right field. Moroff going back, but coming in to make the play, Rodriguez. And the Pirates will earn the split in the doubleheader as they win the nightcap by a score of 8-3. Now to the Call Sam Studios, John Keating, Tigers Live postgame.